I should have seen it coming. The way Sterling smiled at me during that last board meeting, all teeth, no warmth. The way my investors suddenly stopped returning my calls. How my own company started feeling like a trap instead of a dream. But I was too busy drowning to notice the shark circling. 6 months. That's how long it's been since Sterling Reed, my ex-fiancé, my former business partner, my biggest mistake, destroyed everything I'd built. He took my code, my clients, my reputation. Turned my own investors against me with lies I still don't fully understand. The suppressants started 2 months ago. Heavy-duty ones that make my hands shake and my vision blur. But they're necessary. Nobody can know I'm an Omega. Not anymore. Not after what happened. Tonight's investor meeting is my last shot. If I can't secure this funding, Monroe Tech is finished. I'm finished. Mr. Monroe, are you feeling all right? I blink hard, trying to focus on the 3 suits across the conference table. The room is spinning slightly. When did it get so hot in here? I'm fine. As I was saying, our Q4 projections. The heat hits me like a freight train. Oh God. No. Not now. Not here. My Omega claws to the surface, a desperate thing I've been suffocating for months. The suppressants, they're not working. My scent must be leaking because all 3 alphas in the room go rigid, their eyes darkening. Excuse me. I'm on my feet before I realize I'm moving. I need to bathroom. I don't wait for a response. I'm out the door, down the hallway, my legs barely holding me up. Each step feels like wading through concrete. The emergency exit sign blurs in my vision. Outside. I just need to get outside. The alley behind the building is dark and reeks of garbage, but at least it's private. At least nobody can see me like this, on my knees, gasping, my body betraying every promise I made to myself. Never again. I swore never again. Footsteps. Multiple sets. Heavy. Alpha. Well, what do we have here? I don't recognize the voice. Don't need to. I know what happens next. I've lived this nightmare before. Stay back. My voice cracks, pathetic and small. Don't be like that, sweetheart. You're putting out quite the invitation. Hands grab my shoulders. I'm trying to fight, trying to scream, but my heat has me pinned, helpless, exactly where Sterling left me. Get your fucking hands off him. That voice. I know that voice. It's the last voice I want to hear right now. Thaddeus Blackwood. There's a scuffle. Shouting. Then running footsteps fading into the distance. When I manage to open my eyes, Tad is crouching in front of me, careful not to touch, his expression unreadable. Don't, I manage. Don't touch me. I won't. His voice is gentler than I've ever heard it. But Cashin, you need medical attention. You're in full heat. The suppressants you've been taking are killing you. How do you? I'm not an idiot. He shrugs off his suit jacket, holding it out. Put this on. It'll help mask your scent until we get to my car. Why do you care? The words come out bitter. You've been trying to destroy my company for 2 years. Something flashes across his face. Impossible. Thaddeus Blackwood doesn't do feelings. I've been trying to acquire your company, he corrects quietly. There's a difference. And right now I'm trying to save your life, so either take the jacket or I'm calling an ambulance. Your choice. My Omega makes the decision for me, reaching for the jacket with shaking hands. His scent hits me immediately, cedar and winter rain and something else I can't name. Something that makes my chest ache. I'm taking you to the hospital, Tad says, and then he's lifting me effortlessly, cradling me against his chest like I weigh nothing. And Monroe? We're going to have a very long conversation when you wake up. I hate you, I mumble into his shirt, but my body curls into him anyway, seeking the safety my mind refuses to acknowledge. I know. His arms tighten fractionally. I know you do. The last thing I remember is the steady rhythm of his heartbeat and thinking that if I have to die, at least it's not alone in that alley. At least it's not like before. I wake up to sunlight and the smell of antiseptic. Hospital. Private room by the looks of it. Expensive sheets. There's an 4 in my arm and... You're awake. Tad is sitting in the chair beside my bed, looking like he hasn't slept in days. Behind him, standing at the window with his back to us, is a man I recognize from business magazines. Octavius Blackwood. Tad's father. The king of corporate ruthlessness. My mouth goes dry. 3 days, Tad says before I can ask. You've been out for 3 days. The doctors said your body was in complete systemic failure from the suppressants. Why am I here? I try to sit up and immediately regret it. Why didn't you just leave you to die? Octavius turns and his eyes are sharp, calculating. Because my son seems to have developed an unfortunate attachment to you. And because you have something I want. I don't have anything left. You have desperation. Octavius crosses to the bed. And I have a solution that benefits us both. The arrangement is simple, Cashin. Marry my son, or Sterling gets your company's corpse and you spend the rest of your life running from heat after heat until one finally kills you. The words don't make sense. Can't make sense. You have 24 hours to decide, Octavius continues. Then he's gone, the door clicking shut behind him with a finality that makes my stomach drop. I turn to Tad, searching his face for the punchline. He's serious, Tad says quietly. And before you ask, yes, I'm on board. So what do you say, Monroe? Want to become Mrs. Blackwood? The contract is 47 pages long. I know because I've read it 6 times in the past hour looking for the catch. There's always a catch. You're going to burn a hole in the paper, Perry says from across the conference table. Peregrine Ashford, Tad's best friend and apparently the lawyer tasked with selling me my own cage. He's got kind eyes though, which somehow makes this worse. 3 years, I say flatly. You want me to pretend to be Thaddeus Blackwood's devoted husband for 3 years. It's not pretending if you're legally married. Perry slides another document toward me. Which you would be. Full legal rights, access to Blackwood resources, protection from Sterling and anyone else who might want to exploit an unclaimed Omega? I finish bitterly. Tad speaks for the first time since we sat down. Yes. At least he's honest. I look at him properly. He's wearing a different suit than yesterday, charcoal gray, perfectly tailored. His dark hair is slightly mussed like he's been running his hands through it. There are shadows under his eyes. Why? The question bursts out of me. You could marry anyone. Some Society Omega who actually wants this. Why me? My father wants me married to secure the Yamamoto merger, Tad says, his voice carefully neutral. You need protection and resources. It's business, Cashin. Business? Right. Of course it's business. What else would it be? Except I catch something in his expression when he says my name. Something that makes my chest tight. And after 3 years? Clean divorce. Your company returned to you fully solvent. A settlement that ensures you'll never have to worry about money again. Perry taps the relevant clause. You walk away free and clear. Free. The word tastes like a lie in my mouth. I need to think about it. You have 18 hours left, Tad reminds me, but not unkindly. Take the contract. Talk to Winslow if you want. Just, don't do anything stupid like running. Would you chase me? His eyes meet mine and for a second I see past the corporate ice to something raw underneath. Yes. Winslow thinks I've lost my mind. Let me get this straight, my assistant says, pacing my pathetic studio apartment. You're going to marry Thaddeus Blackwood. The man who's been your business rival for 2 years. The man whose father literally blackmailed you from a hospital bed. When you put it like that. It sounds insane because it is insane, Cass. Winslow stops, runs a hand through his messy hair. What aren't you telling me? Everything. I'm not telling him everything. But I can't. Can't explain that Tad and I have history. That 8 years ago before I presented, before Sterling, before everything went to hell, there was an almost, maybe. One night at a college mixer where we argued about coding languages for 3 hours and I felt more alive than I ever had. Then I presented as Omega 2 months later, and Tad was already being groomed to take over Blackwood Industries, and Omegas don't become CEOs. They become trophies. So I walked away first. Before he could. I don't have a choice, I finally say. Winslow's expression softens. There's always a choice. Not this time. I signed the contract at 11:47 p.m., with 19 minutes to spare. The wedding is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of dress fittings, suits actually because I refuse to wear white and Tad doesn't argue. 2 weeks of menu tastings and flower arrangements and all the meaningless pageantry that makes my skin crawl. But Tad is different than I expected. He shows up to every planning session. Makes sure I eat because apparently I forget when I'm stressed. Personally screens every vendor to ensure nobody from Sterling Circle gets within a mile of us. You don't have to do this, I tell him after a particularly grueling cake tasting. The hovering thing. We're not actually what? His hand settles on my lower back, warm and solid. Protective. Getting married? Because last I checked, the ceremony is in 6 days. You know what I mean. Do I? He's standing too close now. Close enough that I can smell cedar and rain. Close enough that my Omega is purring like an idiot. Maybe you should spell it out for me, Cashin? But I can't. Can't articulate the fear that this is becoming too real. That his casual touches and thoughtful gestures are burrowing under my skin, making me want things I have no right to want. The moment breaks when Perry calls about seating arrangements. That night I can't sleep. I'm standing on my apartment balcony at 2 a.m., staring at the city lights when my phone buzzes. Tad, can't sleep either? Me, how did you know? Tad, I know you. 3 words. 3 words that shouldn't hit as hard as they do. Me, why are you really doing this? The typing indicator appears, disappears, appears again. 3 minutes pass. I'm about to give up when his response comes through. Tad, because 8 years ago I let you walk away once. I won't make that mistake again. My phone slips from my numb fingers. He remembers us. The night before the wedding, there's a knock on my door at 10 p.m. I open it expecting Winslow. It's Sterling. Hello, sweetheart. His smile makes my skin crawl. Aren't you going to invite me in? Get out. So hostile. I just came to give you a wedding present. He leans against the doorframe, casual as poison. Some advice really. Enjoy playing house with Thaddeus, but we both know what you really are. Don't? A broken omega who couldn't satisfy an alpha if you tried. His voice drops, intimate and cruel. How long do you think before he realizes? Before he discovers all your damaged parts? All the ways I ruined you? He's gone before I can respond, but his words sink into my skin like acid. Because what if he's right? What if Tad discovers just how broken I really am? What if 3 years is generous and he won't even last 3 months? I slide down the door, pull my knees to my chest and try to remember how to breathe. Tomorrow I become Cashin Monroe Blackwood. God help us both. The wedding is a blur of camera flashes and fake smiles. I barely remember saying my vows, but I remember Tad's hands trembling slightly when he slid the ring onto my finger. I remember thinking that maybe, just maybe, this isn't entirely fake for him either. You may kiss your husband. Tad's lips are gentle against mine. Just say. Nothing like the hungry way he looked at me last night when he picked me up for the rehearsal dinner. When the cameras flash, he deepens the kiss just enough to make it believable, and my omega practically swoons. We're married. Holy shit, we're actually married. Breathe, Tad murmurs against my ear as we walk back down the aisle, his hand firm around mine. You look like you're about to pass out. I might. His fingers tighten. Don't. I'd rather not carry my husband out of our own wedding. Husband. The word sends a shiver down my spine. At the reception, Tad doesn't leave my side. His hand stays on my lower back through dinner, our thighs pressed together at the head table. When we're forced to dance, he holds me close enough that I can feel his heartbeat. This is for the cameras, right? I whisper. Right, he says, but his thumb traces circles on my hip that feel decidedly off script. We're flying to the Maldives, Tad informs me as we board his private jet, still in our wedding clothes. My father insisted on appearances. A week alone with Tad in a tropical paradise. My omega is doing backflips. My traumatized brain is screaming abort mission. Separate bedrooms, I blurt out. Something flickers across his face. Of course. Whatever makes you comfortable. The villa is obscenely beautiful. White sand, crystal water, luxury barely contained by walls. And true to his word, Tad shows me to a bedroom on the opposite side from his. I'll see you at breakfast, he says, then hesitates. Unless you need anything. I'm right down the hall if... I'll be fine. But that night I have the nightmare. The one where Sterling's hands are around my throat and I can't breathe, can't scream, can't. Cashin. I wake up to Tad shaking my shoulders, his face pale in the moonlight streaming through the windows. You were screaming, he says roughly. I could hear you from my room. I'm fine. Just a dream. I'm shaking so hard my teeth chatter. Bullshit. But he releases me, sits on the edge of my bed. Do you want to talk about it? No. Do you want me to stay? Yes. God, yes. But I can't say that, so I just shrug, trying to look indifferent. Tad sees right through me. He always does. Scoot over. He lies on top of the covers, a careful foot of space between us. But his presence alone makes the panic recede. Thank you, I whisper. Don't thank me for basic human decency, Cashin. The first 2 days fall into an awkward rhythm. Separate bedrooms at night, Tad in my bed when the nightmares come. Polite conversation over breakfast. Long stretches on the beach where we don't talk at all, just exist in the same space. But in public, at the resort restaurant, on the beach, anywhere cameras might catch us, Tad touches me constantly. Casual brushes that make my skin sing. His arm around my waist. Fingers threaded through mine. Once, he kisses my temples so tenderly I forget it's an act. Then Perry calls on day 3. We have a problem, Tad says, hanging up. His expression is thunderous. Sterling's making moves against Blackwood Industries. He has documents, forged ones, that make it look like you're feeding him insider information. The air leaves my lungs. No. I would never. I know you didn't. His certainty stuns me. But we need to return to New York. No. Pack light. We're leaving in an hour. The flight back is tense. Tad is on his laptop, Perry on speakerphone walking him through legalities I barely understand. I'm useless, spiraling in the seat across from him. This is my fault. Everything I touch turns to poison. The turbulence hits without warning. Violent, sudden. My laptop goes flying. I'm thrown from my seat, bracing for impact with the cabin wall. Tad catches me. Somehow crosses the aisle and catches me, pins me against his chest as the plane bucks and shudders around us. I've got you, he growls into my hair. I've got you. We end up on the floor, Tad's back against the wall, me sprawled across his lap. His arms are iron bands around my waist. The plane levels out but neither of us moves. You okay? His voice is rough. I nod against his shoulder. Look up. Our faces are inches apart. His eyes drop to my lips. Cashin. It sounds like a prayer and a curse. Tell me to stop. I should. This isn't part of the contract. This is dangerous territory, the kind that leaves scars. Don't stop. He kisses me like he's drowning and I'm air. Nothing chaste about it, nothing safe. 8 years of wanting compressed into this moment. His hand tangles in my hair, tilting my head for better access, and I surrender completely. My Omega purrs, satisfied and smug. Finally, it seems to say, finally. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. I've wanted to do this since the alley, Tad admits, his forehead pressed to mine. Since before the alley. Since 8 years ago when you told me my code was shit and then proved it. I laugh, broken and breathless. It was shit. I know. He kisses me again, softer this time. Sweet. I rewrote the whole thing the next day trying to impress you. It worked. Did it? His thumb traces my bottom lip. Because you disappeared 2 months later. I presented. You were going to be a CEO. Omegas don't. Don't? His voice turns fierce. Don't tell me what Omegas don't do. You built a company from nothing, Cashin. You're brilliant and stubborn and... The pilot's voice crackles over the intercom. Mr. Blackwood, we're beginning our descent. Reality crashes back. We land to chaos. Paparazzi everywhere shouting questions about corporate espionage and fraud. Security tries to clear a path but then I see him. Sterling. Standing with a woman in a sharp suit, holding a manila folder like a weapon. Cashin. His voice cuts through the noise, sickly sweet. I'd like you to meet Dr. Helena Voss. She has some very interesting medical records about your condition. He smiles, all teeth. Shall we tell your new husband why you're really broken? Tad's hand tightens around mine, but I can feel him looking at me. Questioning. The medical records aren't just about being Omega. They're about what Sterling did to me. And now everyone's about to know. I'm going to be sick. The penthouse is silent except for the sound of my ragged breathing. Tad dismissed Perry, sent security away, locked the door behind us. Now it's just us and the truth I've been running from for 2 years. Talk to me. Tad's voice is carefully controlled, but I can see the tension in his shoulders. What's in those records, Cashin? You should read them yourself. I move toward the door. Save us both time. I'll pack my things and... You're not going anywhere. He blocks my path, not touching, just present. Immovable. Whatever it is, we face it together. That's what marriage means. This isn't a real marriage. Isn't it? His control cracks. Because that kiss on the plane felt pretty fucking real to me. The way you sleep in my arms when the nightmares come feels real. The fact that I haven't been able to breathe properly since you walked away 8 years ago feels. Sterling raped me. The words explode out of me. Ugly. True. For 6 months, he hurt me in ways I didn't know were possible. He said it was normal, that Omegas were supposed to, that I was supposed to. My voice breaks. The medical records show internal scarring. Damage that might be permanent. I might never be able to carry children. I can't even handle being touched most of the time without panicking. I force myself to meet his eyes. That's what you married, Thaddeus? A broken Omega who can't give you anything a husband should. So yes, Sterling's going to release those records tomorrow, and everyone will know exactly how worthless I am. The silence stretches. I wait for disgust. Pity. Regret. Tad drops to his knees. What are you? Cashin Monroe Blackwood. His voice is wrecked raw. I don't want a proper Omega. I don't want children if you can't have them. Hell, I don't want children if you can have them and choose not to. I want you. Broken pieces, sharp edges, nightmares and all. Tears blur my vision. You don't mean that. I've been in love with you since we were 20 years old. He's looking up at me like I'm something precious. Since you cornered me at that college mixer and argued about Python versus Java for 3 hours. Since you laughed at my jokes and called me out when I was being an ass. Since you made me want to be better than my father ever was. Tad. And I've spent 8 years trying to convince myself I could move on. Date appropriate Omegas. Marry someone sensible. He laughs bitterly. Then you walked into that board meeting 2 years ago and I knew I was screwed. Everything I did, trying to acquire your company, the rivalry, it was just an excuse to stay in your orbit. To breathe the same air. I'm crying now, full ugly sobs. Sterling's releasing the records tomorrow. Your reputation. Fuck my reputation. Tad stands, cups my face in his hands. Perry's already got countersuits ready. Assault, fraud, embezzlement. Winslow found proof that Sterling stole from your company and cooked his books. He's finished cashing. By this time tomorrow, he'll be in handcuffs. How long have you known? About Sterling? His jaw tightens. I suspected something was wrong when you started taking those suppressants. Had Perry investigate. The restraining order you filed 2 years ago was sealed, but we found it. I wanted to kill him with my bare hands. Why didn't you tell me? Because you needed to trust me first. To know you were safe. His thumb wipes away my tears. Are you safe with me? I think about the nightmares that stop when he holds me. The way his scent makes my omega purr instead of panic. How he's never once pushed, never demanded anything I wasn't ready to give. Yes, I whisper. I'm safe with you. Then hear me clearly. His eyes are fierce, determined. This contract? These 3 years? Screw all of it. I want real cash-in. I want you waking up in my bed every morning. I want to hold your hand because I can, not because cameras are watching. I want forever, not an expiration date. That's not what you signed up for. Neither is being in love, but here we are. He rests his forehead against mine. Marry me for real. No arrangements. No time limits. Just us figuring it out together. My omega is screaming yes. My heart is screaming yes. But my broken parts, the ones Sterling damaged. What if I can't be what you need? You already are. Tad kisses me softly. You already are. 3 months later. Sterling got 15 years. Fraud, assault, embezzlement. Perry built a case so airtight even his expensive lawyers couldn't crack it. Watching him get led away in handcuffs was the most cathartic moment of my life. Monroe Tech is thriving now, rebuilt as a subsidiary of Blackwood Industries with me as CEO. Turns out I'm pretty good at this when I'm not being sabotaged by my own fiancé. The medical treatments Tad's doctors found are helping. The damage isn't completely reversible, but there's hope. Maybe children someday. Maybe not. Either way, Tad means it when he says he doesn't care. Therapy helps too. Twice a week, learning to trust again. Learning that broken doesn't mean unlovable. Tonight, Tad is pacing our bedroom, not separate rooms anymore, looking nervous in a way I've never seen. What's wrong? I ask from the bed. He pulls out a small velvet box. I know we're already married, but this? He opens it to reveal a simple platinum band with an inscription inside. I want to do it right this time. No contracts. No fathers forcing us. The inscription reads, 8 years worth of wanting. Cashin Monroe Blackwood. He's smiling now, nervous and hopeful. Will you marry me? Again. For real this time? I tackle him onto the bed, kissing him until we're both laughing and breathless. Yes, I say against his lips. Yes, yes, yes. Because some rescues turn into real love stories. And this rival alpha? This beautiful, stubborn, impossible man who saw past my broken pieces to something worth saving? He's mine forever.